Hello, this is SC, the rich woman. Today is Tuesday, 7, 7, almost 8 o'clock. I wanted to make a video before it gets dark. I got bit up by some mosquitoes. These mosquitoes is something else. So, I was just thinking, like, California never has mosquitoes. When I was a kid growing up, when I was a teenager, even like 20s, we never had mosquitoes. I'm like, and then all of a sudden, mosquitoes. And I'm like, I really think that they have released mosquitoes. And it's true, they have released mosquitoes. I saw a video showing these people releasing mosquitoes. They get the eggs and they insert something into the eggs, some type of liquid or whatever. I'm sure it's something that's harmful. And so when they grow, they hatch or whatever. These mosquitoes is like they injecting something in us. I don't know what it is. But, when this government does something, it's really never to our benefit. I was watching a video where they were talking about Florida. And they was talking about how many mosquitoes they have let loose in Florida. So many mosquitoes they have let loose in Florida. The people was protesting against it, but it still got passed on. Basically making a guinea pig out of the people. That's crazy. And then you remember a while back, the black people were outside at some type of outside concert, and a plane went by and they just started getting bit up like crazy. Hold on a minute. Right when I turned on the video, I started coughing. But anyway, I hope I don't start itching really bad. I noticed a couple of days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, I was getting bit by mosquitoes, and I just started itching all over. So I really think they're releasing something in our body, or in my body, because I just started itching all over. And look, I've been bit 1, 2, 3 times right here on my left arm, and it swells up, gets swollen. I put some witch hazel on it. I had to go to the store and buy me some lotion without scent, because I usually wear cocoa butter lotion, and that has a sweet smell to it, so you get bit up more when you have on sweet smelling lotions and perfumes and stuff. It just draws them to you even more. So I got some Aveeno, which has no scent to it, and I've been getting bit a lot less until today. But I finally got me a dash cam, so I hooked it up. The front, it shows the front of the car, and then it shows the inside of the car. So I haven't hooked up the rear one yet, so I'm supposed to hook up the rear one, bring the card all the way up to the front, and plug it into the main base here. So that's a lot of work. And the card, even though the card is very long, I don't know if it's long enough to go where they want you to put it. They want you to put it in the center of the back rear. So it had two places to put it, either on the outside of the van where you got a screwdriver and all this stuff, and I ain't doing that. And then it said in the back window at the top, like right there at the top. So I'm like, I don't know if that is going to be, because I tried it to see if the car would fit, but I don't think it was quite long enough. But I'm gonna try to do it before I start working this weekend, attach that back. But I think I'm gonna do it with some tape, some like some clear, strong tape. Tape it to that window. But when I take it off, because they said that I was watching the video and it said when you take it off, you don't want it to mess up your what you call it, the fog. You know how it what you call it, when you you know, the lines back there in the window that take the fog and stuff away. So you don't want to mess that up when you take it off. So I'm gonna have to use like maybe WD-40, something like that, to loosen that tape off when I get ready, when I don't have this car no more, and take it off that way with some WD-40 or something, whatever else they say I could use to loosen that tape so it won't mess up those lines back there. But yeah, so I ain't been in a rush to do that, but I need to hook it up, and then I need to get it set up on my phone so I can look at it at any time I want to look at it. But it's a lot of work, but I did a good job, because I see some people when they hook up they dash cam, they have the card hanging wrapped around the mirror and all kinds of stuff. It'll look right. So I did what it said to do to hide the card, so the card is hidden, you can't see it at all. But I'm gonna have to see what I can do about the one in the back, the rear one. You know, it gets hot around here in the daytime. It was cooled off. It cooled off for a week, because it was like in the hundreds, and then it cooled off for a week. We had like 70s, 60s, and now it's getting hot back again, like 90s, 80s, 90. But at night it cools off. It really cools off. It be cold, because last night it was cold. But so I had to move my car, because I was parked in a shopping center, and I wasn't keeping my car clean and keeping the leaves away from around the car, and so it wouldn't look abandoned. I was being lazy. I really was, and I just didn't have a lot of energy. And so I saw this man come. I was sitting in my van, and I saw this man, the men that do the gardening and the maintenance in the parking lots. I saw him come and take a picture of my car, and I was like, oh no. So I was planning on moving my car, and I jumped it, and my portable jumper didn't have enough juice in it. So I'm like, okay, so I charged it, and then I jumped in, and I charged it, but I didn't jump the car. And so then I got a sticker on it like 4 days later saying that it's going to be towed in 24 hours. So I moved it. I jumped it, and anyway, I had it moved to another shopping center. So, and now I'm in another shopping center, and the birds is dookie on my cars every day. I'm like, oh. But it's a nice shady spot though. It's a nice shady spot. There's a business there that's open very, very late. But I'm like, oh, these birds, And it's hard to come off too. It ain't like, where it's easy to come off. It's hard. I'm like, dang. Just over the morning. They come in the morning. I can hear the birds. And they come in the morning, and then they, dropping turds, and by the time I get out and I'm trying to get it off, it is hard. I'm like, dang. So I was watching these videos, how some people are struggling now, but I think it's always been like this, but it's probably going to get worse. You know how they talk about people be pocket watching? So I already knew that when things get hard, people are going to start pocket watching. And so if you have money or if you're doing good, you're going to have to keep that on the low low. You know what I'm saying? I was watching a video where I think it was a nurse. She took was it a Birkin bag to work? And they said she was fired, and I don't know how long it took them to fire her, but it was soon after she took that Birkin bag to work. And then I was watching this black guy. He said that he had bought him a charger, and he said that he was going into the parking lot of his job, and his boss, a woman, was I think she was coming out and he was going in, and he said they looked at each other eye to eye, and he said she put a look on her face like, He said he was gone within a month. She fired him within a month. And so I said, that's a shame that, bosses be like this, but they do. And so I was listening to a young black boy. He was like 21, 22, and he was like, he saw the videos, right? And he was like, I didn't know that this happens. He said, I have my own little business, but I might want to work one day. I didn't know that this happened. He was like, I want to buy this car. I think he said a Corvette. And he said, he said that his parents told him, if you get a nice car, do not drive it to work. And I had thought about my own experience when I was 19. Yeah, I was 19, and I had got this job working for Goldenberg Chicken. It was the one in Compton on Central in El Segundo. And so it's not there anymore, but I had got a job working at that Goldenberg, and I was 19 years old, and so I was about to start working driving the school bus. So I wanted to keep both jobs, and so I was working both jobs, working at the Goldenberg Chicken at night, and I was driving the school bus in the daytime. And so I had coworkers that would ask me, what you gonna do with your money? You working 2 jobs, what you gonna do with your money? And I was like, I'm gonna buy me a new car. And so I had got this, at this time Saturn had just came out, the car Saturn, and they had this nice big brochure book of different Saturns, different models and stuff like that. And so I wanted me a Saturn so bad, and I had got the book. I knew the car, I knew the one I wanted, the model I wanted. And so I would tell the coworkers, I'm going to give me a new car, I want me a Saturn. So it got back to the manager, and she fired me, or let me go, whatever it was, whatever word she wanted to use. But I knew that it was because I was saving up to get this new car. I knew it was that. And so I even called the owner and told him. Now, she wasn't a black woman. She was another race. And the owner was a black man. The business had been left to him by his father. And so I even called the owner and I told him that this is the reason why I was fired, because I was saving up to buy a new car. He acted like how some men are just like so clueless of the little things that women do. Women can be so jealous hearted, so like just they could do things to another woman that a man will be like, what? And that's how he was. He was like, because you're buying a new car. He didn't think that a woman would do something. I could tell by the way he responded. Like, women are very catty. Women are very jealous hearted. They can be vindictive. They do things like that. And some men have no clue. They have no clue. So anyway, he was one of the men that had no clue that, and plus, sometimes women, they act a certain way in front of men, But then when that man is not looking, then they act another way. And so I'm guessing that's how she was, because he was shocked when I told him that. But yeah, I knew that was the reason why she fired me. She fired me before I could even get the car. I was just talking about getting the car. But yeah, things like that happen. People are so jealous hearted, and you got to be careful. Well, people, they ain't got to worry about me bringing no expensive bags nowhere, because I don't, I don't believe in carrying expensive bags. I don't believe they're, well, now I know for sure that they're not worth what they say they are. But yeah, I don't believe in, they're not functional for me. I like a cheaper purse. It ain't got to be no name brand, and it got pockets and zippers and all that stuff in it. So, but yeah, it was something else I want. Oh, so I was watching this video where they were talking about a lot of news and stuff is fake, like it's AI generated. So it'll show a woman and she's talking, the wind is blowing, there's maybe bombing in the background, but it's fake, it ain't real. And then she'll say, oh, I'm not real. So they can put whatever they want on the news, and say this is happening, that is happening, and there ain't none of it really happening. Now I was hearing, because allegedly Trump bombed Iran. I don't know that for sure, because I don't live in Iran and I'm not near there. But now they was talking about the grid in America, and this might happen in America and all this stuff, right? So I'm thinking to myself, usually when things happen in America, it's really America behind it. It's the government. This is what I believe. When a lot of bad things happen here, it's usually our government that's doing it. But they blame it on another country, right? So, I believe our American government wants to do a lot to us, a lot of harm to us. But they don't want to be the ones to say that they're doing it. They want to point the finger at another country. So remember last year, I think it was more like at the beginning of the year, I had a dream. And I had a dream and I could hear these holidays being called off. And when I heard, now it happened the beginning of last year. So I can hear like Christmas, I can hear Thanksgiving. Then the holidays started for 2025. And I can hear the holidays being called off. And after Halloween, I heard nothing. So when I woke up, I'm like, okay, what's going to happen to make the United States not celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas in 2025? So to me, it just told me something's going to happen. Something's going to happen this year, and it's going to be after Halloween. So we'll see. But I'm hoping, I believe that Yahweh has a plan, and hopefully I will have a place to stay by the end, because of some of the dreams that I have seen that's going to happen here in the United States. It's going to be things you have never seen happen before here. Things you never thought or imagined would happen here in the United States. I saw them in my dreams. So, I still want to urge you guys to store up food, get your toilet tissue, get you medical supplies, vitamins, herbs, prescriptions, whatever you think you may need. Store that stuff up. Water, toilet tissue, canned food that can last a while, because I'm telling you, something's gonna happen, and I believe it's gonna start this year. So I'm just waiting to see what's gonna happen after Halloween, because Why would I have that dream? And then I saw another video where this lady, she was saying that she saw the calendar blotted out for half of this year. Now, she said after April. She said after April, she saw the calendar blotted out. Now, my dream showed me after Halloween. I didn't hear no more holidays. So, I go with my own dreams. I don't go with nobody else's. Because I believe that some people have like psychic abilities. Some people are in the demonic realm and they can see things, but it might not be so accurate, you know. And so I go with my own dreams. What Yahweh showed me, I go with that. Oh, and so I wanted to talk about the dream that I had the other day. I really wanted to talk about that first, but I guess I talk about whatever popped up in my head. But the dream I had the other day where Yahweh had picked me to be the next one to be elevated. And I was telling you about that he took something off my head and then he put something else on my head. And I didn't know what it was, you know. I didn't even know I had anything on my head, you know, for him to take something off and put something else on. But as I was thinking about it, it came to me that the only thing, because, okay, when you receive the Holy Spirit, your life kind of like mirrors Yahshua the Messiah. So in the Bible, it talks about that you're gonna die with him, you're gonna be buried with him, you're gonna be nailed to the cross like he was. And then when I first started believing in Yahweh and Yahshua Messiah, I had a vision, and I had a vision that I saw someone nailing my hand to the cross. But first I saw Yahshua hanging on the cross. I saw someone nailing my hand to the cross, and I started to scream. I saw lightning. I saw darkness and lightning. Anyway, I knew that I was going through the same thing that Yahshua went through, because it talks about that in the Bible, that you're going to be nailed to the cross like he was and all that stuff. So when you receive the Holy Spirit, your life is kind of going to like mirror his in a way. It's not going to be like exact. You may have dreams or vision and you may see things happen. But and so what I think it was, because I started looking at Yahshua. So I was like, okay, what did Yahshua have on his head? When Yahshua died on the cross, remember they put that crown on his head of thorns? He had a crown of thorns on his head, and they were mocking him, saying, you the king of the Jews or whatever. So they put that thorn crown on his head, right? And that was when he died on the cross. So after he resurrected, if I'm not mistaken, I gotta find the scripture, but I know that thorn of crown was replaced with an actual real crown on his head. You know, when he ascended, he got a real crown on his head. So when Yahweh took something off my head, that's what I think he was taking off. I think he was taking off the thorn of crown, the crown of thorns, and he put on a real crown on my head. Because in the dream, after he did that, I started dressing better. My clothes were like top-notch material, like that you would see, you know, rich people wear. So it would make sense. It would make so much sense that he actually put a crown on my head, and then that changes my whole wardrobe, my whole life, and everything was changed. I started walking around with a group of people that had been picked and elevated like I was. I wasn't alone and by myself anymore. So that's what I think it was. He took off my head. Ain't that something? I didn't even know it was on my head. But I knew that I was going through a lot, you know. When Yahshua had that crown of thorns on his head, he went through a lot. He went through hell, you know. And I know I was going through a lot too. But yeah. So when things change for you, it's going to change first in the spiritual, and then the physical will follow. So when I see things in my dreams, and I see Yahweh, Father Yahweh, take that off, put another thing on my head, and then my clothes and wardrobe and everything change, and I'm happy now. I'm with a group of girls. We were women, but in heaven, in Yahweh's house, you're girls. Everybody is girls, even though you're in the worldly sense, you're a woman. But yeah, so that was an awesome dream, and I was so glad that Yahweh gave me that dream and showed me. So I know now that the elevation in the physical is going to come. It's going to come. It might not come as fast as I want it to come, but it happened in the spiritual, so now the physical is going to come right after. So anyway, I would talk to you guys in another video because my time is running out. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Bye.